Hello fellow academics and welcome back to our Timberborn episode. We're still in the middle of the bad tide. It is in progress. We actually need to move. Hello fellow academics and welcome back to our next Timberborn episode. We're still in the middle of the bad tide, but overall it doesn't matter to us that much. We do have our water supply over here and our power supply all the way back here as well as here. So power-wise, we're definitely producing more than enough. And water seems to be doing okay. Look how much water storage we actually have. So that's pretty cool. I think one of our biggest challenge currently is the number of beavers that have, or that we can employ. And last time we had started putting in another breeding pod in the middle here, which will, or should at least, help us put this together or build this together. Everything is a little bit slow in terms of construction. This is one of the reasons is I have turned off one of our builder's huts, but actually now this part here is done. Makes me wonder if I can finally turn this guy on, because instead of these breeding pods, we could actually go ahead, and I think that's what we were planning on last time, to produce these advanced breeding pods. Now they actually take berries and extract, and we don't have any extract yet. So let's have a quick look in how we can produce it. We need a centrifuge. And the centrifuge could, in theory, go up here, or if we move it over by one, or even just like that, I think we're gonna put it here. Although I think ultimately we won't be able to place anything over the top of this chimney. Chimney is, I think, just a little bit too tall. So maybe we'll keep the front part open rather than the back. So if we put a centrifuge back here, we can still put some roads into the front and basically branch out over on this side here. So let's just go ahead and do that. Centrifuge is down. Just connect it up with a path. And they're already happily building it. Very cool. You know what? I am going to actually undo this and face our centrifuge a slightly different direction. And here's the reason why. Centrifuge facing it this direction. This way, we can remove this path and actually put a medium water tank on this corner right here. Now, the only problem with this is we need to get the power from here over to the centrifuge. So let's try to figure out how we can do that. I think we need more of the platforms from this side. So let's go in here. This one we have unlocked. So if we're placing this, actually we shouldn't try to place this here. Let's give this a quick go. If we were to, we do have plenty of science. If we were to put this, actually let's try it with level 2. We put a level 2 one in here and then put our platform in here. It's exactly what I was thinking, that this will actually block the access to, or the ability for us to put that connection in the back here. So instead, we could actually go ahead and place it on top of here. We have a little gear storage down there. I wasn't aware of that. When you play in this style, it gets really tricky to put things in a meaningful direction. Right. And now we could extend this out a little bit more. Do we want to do that? I actually don't think so. So instead of this one, if we turn this into a double, we will actually be able to put our 5 level over this way. And again, something that we don't really want to do. Can we actually, let me remove this. Can we actually, in theory, put one here? No, we can't. So we need to go one up. But that also means we need this 4 depth overhang. Right, stay with me. I know it's a little bit back and forth. We put this back and actually unlock the 4 overhang. And then over here, we will be able to put in our solid power shaft. And with that, we can immediately connect this up. And that is exactly what we're gonna do. Gonna still keep building a solid power shaft up. It's another pathway for us forward to actually connect our buildings to power. Oh, this wasn't a problem, but putting it back here would have been. Anyways. Not complaining. Totally not. Either way, all of this is in and they are building the centrifuge already. So let's put a path into the centrifuge that once it unlocks, we can actually put in our beavers. And we do need to unpause this wood workshop because for the advanced breeding pots, we definitely need the treated planks. 5 of them actually. Slowly making progress in terms of, we're not making any progress in terms of our metal because we keep using it up. So I think another element that we want to put in relatively quickly is another smelter. So a good place for us to put in another smelter, now that we also have these 4 levels unlocked, we could actually just place it like this. And I don't think we'll ever be able to put a single platform over this way, right? Oh no, it would be a double platform. No, it would need to be a single platform for us to continue the platform levels, the overhang levels. So, but what we could do is put a double platform here. Nope, still not a double platform, a single platform here. And then put, actually a double platform over here. And then put a level 3 or 3 length overhang over this way. That will actually be able to get us into this area. Now this we're gonna set to extract. I could kind of use a coffee right now. Anyways, our beavers don't really need a coffee at the moment, so fair enough. Alright. So this is, again, kind of slowly coming together. The only thing in terms of, like, metal, now this over here will run out sooner rather than later. And yes, we will be able to bridge over and then allow our beavers to extract more in the back over here. Let's actually plan this out already so we don't need to think about it anymore. Here we go. And then put a path in on both sides. Alright. Already building all of this. I guess we're a little bit low on logs, but we're also just using up a ton of logs right now. So not too worried about that. Now, like I said, what we are really short of is actually metal. So let's go ahead and start placing our overhangs, which also costs us metal. But sooner rather than later, it'll actually be quite beneficial for us. And with that, we've kind of extended this area completely to where we need it to be in order to put our metal smelters on there. And if I'm not mistaken, they are 4 deep. Let's have a quick look. They are. So we can put one here and another one here. And this way we have properly used up the entire area on top there. Now this still needs resources, and they are actually just requiring metal blocks, so it'll happen. We just need to be patient. I guess currently we only have 2 lumberjacks over here. So why don't we actually place another lumberjack in here to help us with the production of wood. We're now also making sort of a positive dent into our beaver population, which is good to see, because that means we're not that much out of workers anymore. Still 6 workers short, which is a bit crazy. Why are you actually storing your... You're not storing it anywhere. I can pause you. All right. Yeah, getting along, getting along. We have 200 gears ready. We need it for the for the water dome. What is it called? The Badwater discharge. We need 300 gears, 200 metal blocks, and 50 dynamite. We're doing okay in terms of dynamite, to be honest. But with the metal blocks, we're definitely gonna struggle. So it might also be then worthwhile to unlock the actual dynamite and make all of this a little bit deeper, so we can store a little bit more water. Like, we're already kind of running dry on this side, and this side is not that far behind. So I think the first path that we can do is just explode all of this up. Double dynamite is probably enough to get through there, but then again, it also needs our extract from our centrifuge, and that ultimately will need some Badwater. So what would be a good way to put a little bit of Badwater storage out here? And I think this is where we're gonna break up sort of this wall that we could build and start building out a little bit further. I'm gonna go in here, put in I guess this could be a 5. Let's make this a 5, and then keep filling this up with 4s. Actually, just 2 4s. Now that will allow us to put a path in front of here and through there. And this will... This looks so precarious. But this is how we're gonna expand our village, or our city center, even further. It's interesting, the different dynamics you're playing with once you limit yourself to such a small space. But in all honesty, it is kind of fun trying to figure out where to place buildings and how to make it all happen, especially if you're short on some of the material. In terms of scrap metal, we're actually, I want to say, doing overall okay. It's a bit of a shame that... No, actually I needed that path over... Did I need that path over here? I did not need this path. Cool. So did that for nothing. Nice. Alright. In the meantime, we're gonna put platforms over here, which will then allow us to put a little bit of scrap storage, which I think is we can put in the small industrial pile. Yep, here we go. Scrap metal storage through and through. Which also makes me think, how much is the mine? It's 4,000 scions, but 450 gears and 300 treated planks. Where are our treated planks anyways? This guy can't do anything because we're lacking pine resin. How is this guy doing? All of this is now dried out. Excellent. That will cause us no issues whatsoever. Cool, cool, cool. And I think, however, that just means we need to put a staircase down and then move this part all the way back here. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Put in 3 dam pieces, just like we have here. And then, oh, not this one, but just connect the rest up with levees. Now this will keep more water storage here. And right now we are dried out on this side. So time to turn on the fluid dump. I don't think, yeah, we're definitely not saving those. But, you know, some of our food can actually be saved, or hopefully will be saved. All right. Still waiting on the centrifuge. 9 metal blocks to go. I guess that's overall not too bad, but also not that great. At least the water is coming in. How is it spreading so quickly so much? Again, not quite complaining. This will drain our water storage situation, but overall, I think it is fine. Right. We also need to make sure they can actually reach this area down here. So let's connect this up with a path. And then over here, at least, I think we're actually going to leave that part in as well. And over here, we're, as soon as the centrifuge is in, we'll start planting double depth dynamite and sort of hollow this out a bit more to give us a bit more water storage in cases of droughts. Right, so let's go into, oh, we're already in landscaping. Unlock the double dynamite. 900 science, yep, we have plenty. So let's go. Also gonna place them on this side. And I think we're also just hollowing this part out. Which, well, I'm actually gonna leave that little gap so we could, if we wanted to, walk down here and walk over here. Not that I foresee us needing it, but I think it will be quite useful to have as an option at least. All right, 1.4 days left. So slowly getting there, I guess. And what else do we need to? This needs power. And this is not connected to the power because this still needs to be built. And then these two up here, the power connector need to be built. Right, currently, I guess one will actually be enough to work on here. We will also unpause this guy. And what would probably be useful is to reduce the movement time it takes to get from here over there. So we will later on, I think, try to place these levees around, create a proper like tower area for us. Not that this is really necessary, but you know what? This is actually kind of a perfect space, I think, for a bridge. So let's go in here. I barely ever build with the bridges because you kind of don't need them in the game, to be honest. So this would be a 6 depth bridge, which is the perfect span. We do need to move one further up, not a dam, but a levee. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. And instead of doing a one-sided 6 depth bridge, we're gonna put 2 or 3 size bridges over there, which overall will be just very nice to have. I think it will look quite nice. Right. Water is coming back already. Awesome. How are pine trees doing? Actually doing okay. None of them are going to die. 8 days left, actually. So I am going to... No, I'm not going to delete the forester. I'm going to keep him in there just in case we need him. But I am going to place the tapper shack right next to it. 500 science. That works out. This is now connected and we are producing extract. There's also already a little bit in here. So very cool. Let's, just to get this done, at least in this episode, gonna put in this bridge that brings us closer to our Badwater over here. This is a direct access. And while we're going down on this side, maybe later on, we'll just put it up as well. Not sure why we would do that, but I guess why not. All right, things are coming along. I would say so. You might disagree. Oh well. We're still very short in terms of beaver population. So we still don't have any metal because we're sinking it all into these bits that will help us sort of expand our village area in this corner. All right. They are getting along pretty well with the bridge. Logs and planks, we got that all happened. That's too far away. They're also building from this side. And they only cost planks. We do have over 200 planks, so we're definitely good in terms of that. And I feel like we should also think about giving our beavers... Ah, shoot. This is not far enough. This needs to go higher. Do we ever want to close it? What if I do that? Yeah, it quickly flooded. That should go down really fast. Not entirely sure why some of this floods. Alright, it seems to have balanced out. Cool. And it has already filled all of that up, so we're definitely good with that. Alright, the drought is incoming though. So I kind of want to prioritize these over anything else. Even though that bridge part is almost in. Oh, look, he's hammering away. Just needs logs, but again. You flooded again? Why? Is it because there's only 2 of them? What if I set this to open? That kind of balanced it out. Is this going down actually? No, I think that's fine. So it is causing issues because there's not enough water outflow in this direction. No, that shouldn't make... That shouldn't... I actually don't know. There's 2 of the sluices. They are open. But if it's only those 2, this side will flood. Oh, now I've actually opened all 3 of them. Maybe I need to lower this a bit. How? It is how the game started. I don't understand this part. Alright, anyways, let's just not synchronize this, set this one to open. That should definitely help with the water flow. Here we go. Still very confused. I guess it kind of works out. Alright, Have you guys built? You haven't finished this yet. And now the drought has come in. So let's put this back to auto. Not that this will actually save us a ton of... Ah, shoot. We could have actually stored some excess water in here. Alright, at least a little bit of a gap there. Now if we actually open this one, it should be a little bit flowing out. Or not. However, we're completely out of power. Means I need to turn the large water wheel on. Not water wheel, the large wheel on. Yep. And they are working on that. Alright. This would still be beneficial. They are running a little bit low on logs. I think that's the biggest issue. And I've kind of chopped down all of these. So let's pause one of the lumberjacks over there and finally chop down those last 3 oak trees on this side. But yeah, we just need more logs. Always so much to do. But now that we're not that much in a hurry with this anymore, they can honestly just focus on finishing that bridge. And yeah, I think this way we have at least some achievement from this episode. I mean, we've done a good amount. The centrifuge came in and now the bridge is in. Look at this. Suspension bridge, cool. So our beavers have a much shorter way now to get down to the Badwater, which ultimately will dry out soon anyways. Regardless, with that, I am going to end this episode here right now. We are making progress. We're still building up, which I'm very excited about, because overall, it'll kind of get our village to the place where I envisioned it to be to begin with. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed so, please consider doing so. Otherwise, I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.